Arrogant billionaire. Solve this, I'll give you everything. Black Waitress did. His jaw dropped. The Crystal Room was the kind of restaurant where reservations were made months in advance, where the silverware gleamed under chandeliers that cost more than most people's homes, where wealthy executives came to close deals and celebrate victories. Naomi had worked there for 3 years, moving between tables with quiet grace in her crisp white shirt and black slacks. Her braided hair was pulled back neatly, her smile professional but warm. She was good at her job. Better than good. She remembered regular customers' preferences, anticipated needs before they were voiced, and never complained about the long hours on her feet. What most people at the Crystal Room did not know was that Naomi had once been on track to become a mathematics professor, that she had earned a full scholarship to Stanford, that her doctoral dissertation on quantum probability theory had been halfway complete when her mother got sick. Cancer, the kind that eats through savings faster than it eats through the body. Naomi had left school to care for her mother, to work 3 jobs to pay for treatments insurance would not cover. And when her mother passed 2 years later, the scholarship was gone, her research was outdated, and she was drowning in medical debt. So she worked, and she told herself that serving food was honest work, that there was dignity in it. Even on nights like this when her feet ached and her back screamed for rest. The dinner rush was in full swing when Victor Ashford walked in with his business associate. Everyone knew Victor Ashford, the tech billionaire whose company had revolutionized data encryption. He was in his early 50s, with steel gray hair styled perfectly and a navy suit that probably cost more than Naomi made in 6 months. His watch caught the light as he gestured, speaking loudly. Enough for nearby tables to hear. The problem with most people, he was saying to the elegant woman beside him, is that they lack vision and intellect. They settle for mediocrity because they are not capable of greatness. Naomi approached their table with water glasses. "Good evening," she said with her practiced smile. "Welcome to the Crystal Room." Victor barely glanced at her. "Scotch, neat, top shelf. And bring us the chef's tasting menu." "Of course," Naomi said. "And for you, ma'am?" The woman who introduced herself as Diane was kinder in her response, ordering wine with a please and thank you. As Naomi walked away, she heard Victor's voice carry across the dining room. "That's another thing. Service workers. No ambition, no drive. Perfectly content to bring people drinks for the rest of their lives." Naomi's jaw tightened, but she kept walking. She had heard worse. Throughout the evening, Victor's voice dominated the restaurant. He was in rare form, showing off for his companion and anyone else who would listen. He spoke about his latest acquisition, about the incompetence of his competitors, about how success was simply a matter of being smarter than everyone else. When Naomi brought their entrees, Victor was working on some kind of problem. There were papers spread across the table covered in mathematical notations and diagrams. "This is the issue," he was telling Diane, pointing at a complex equation. "Our encryption algorithm has a vulnerability. My entire team of MIT graduates cannot figure it out. Useless, all of them." He laughed, but there was frustration in it. Naomi set down their plates carefully, trying not to disturb the papers. But her eyes caught on the equation, and she froze, because she recognized it. It was a variant of a quantum key distribution problem she had worked on in graduate school. She could see the error immediately, the place where the logic broke down. Is there something else?" Victor asked, his tone sharp. He had noticed her staring at his papers. "I apologize," Naomi said quickly. "Your meals are very hot. Please be careful." She started to turn away, but something made her stop. Maybe it was the exhaustion. Maybe it was the years of swallowed pride. Maybe it was hearing him dismiss an entire team of brilliant people as useless. "Actually," she heard herself say, "if I may, I think I see the problem with your equation." The restaurant seemed to get quieter. Victor stared at her, then burst out laughing. "You," he said, "think you see the problem? With a quantum encryption algorithm?" "Yes, sir," Naomi said, her heart pounding. Victor's laughter grew louder. Several nearby diners turned to watch. "This is perfect," he said to Diane. "The Waitress is going to solve what a team of MIT graduates could not." He pulled out a pen and fresh napkin, his eyes glittering with cruel amusement. "Tell you what," he said loudly, "if you can solve this, if you can show me where the vulnerability is and how to fix it, I will give you everything." My watch, my wallet, all the cash I have on me. Hell, I will pay off whatever debts you have." He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. "But when you cannot, when you embarrass yourself trying, you admit in front of everyone here that you spoke out of turn and that you have no business discussing things beyond your understanding." Naomi felt every eye in the restaurant on her. Diane looked uncomfortable, touching Victor's arm. "Victor, maybe this is not necessary." No, he said, waving her off. "I want to see this. I want to see her try." He pushed the napkin and pen toward Naomi. "Go ahead. Show us your brilliant solution." Naomi's hands were shaking as she picked up the pen. But her mind was clear. She had not done this kind of work in years, but it came back to her like muscle memory. She wrote quickly, her ha. ND writing smaller and neater than Victor's scrawl. She showed the point where his team had made a false assumption about the quantum state collapse. She demonstrated how the vulnerability arose from treating the entangled particles as independent variables. She provided the correction, an elegant adjustment that maintained the encryption strength while closing the security gap. It took her less than 3 minutes. When she set down the pen, the napkin was covered in precise mathematical notation. Victor's smile had vanished. He picked up the napkin, his eyes scanning the work. The color drained from his face. His hands started to shake slightly. "This is," he began, then stopped. "How did you—" Naomi stood there, her professional mask back in place. "Your steak is getting cold, sir." Victor looked up at her, really looked at her for the first time all evening. "Who are you?" he whispered. "My name is Naomi Clark. I was a doctoral candidate in applied mathematics at Stanford. I specialized in quantum probability theory." "Was?" Diane asked gently. "I left to care for my mother when she became ill. By the time she passed, I had too much debt to return." The restaurant was completely silent now. Victor set down the napkin carefully. When he spoke again, his voice was different, smaller. "I was going to look like a fool in front of my board next week," he said quietly. "My entire company's reputation was on the line. And you just solved it, in 3 minutes, on a napkin. While working a dinner shift, he removed his watch, an elegant Patek Philippe. He pulled out his wallet. "I said I would give you everything," he said, "but what I am about to say is not about the bet. It is about the fact that I have been a complete fool tonight." He stood up, and when he spoke, his voice carried through the restaurant. "I spent this entire evening talking about intelligence and success and ambition. I dismissed you. Dismissed everyone who works here, as people without drive or capability, and I could not have been more wrong." He gestured to the napkin. "This woman has more intelligence in her little finger than most people I employ, and she has been serving me drinks while I insulted her and everyone like her." Victor looked directly at Naomi. "I do not know how much debt you are carrying, but I am going to pay it off. All of it. And I am offering you a position at my company, heading our advanced encryption research team at whatever salary you name." Naomi felt tears prick her eyes. "Sir, I have not worked in the field for 3 years, and you still solved in minutes what my team could not solve in weeks. Imagine what you could do with resources and time." He paused. "But more than that, I owe you an apology. I owe everyone in this room an apology. I have been so wrapped up in my own success that I forgot how I got here. My mother was a nurse who worked double shifts to put me through community college. My first job was washing dishes. And somewhere along the way, I forgot that. I forgot to see people. I forgot to be humble." He turned to address the entire restaurant. "To everyone here tonight, I apologize. To the servers, the kitchen staff, everyone who worked so hard to create this beautiful experience. I see you now, and I am sorry it took being humbled to open my eyes." The restaurant remained quiet. Then someone began to applaud, then another. Within seconds, the entire dining room was clapping. Naomi wiped her eyes. "I do not know what to say." "Say you will take the job," Victor said. "Say you will give an arrogant fool a chance to do something right." Diane was smiling now, genuine warmth in her eyes. "He needs someone like you," she said to Naomi. "Someone who remembers what matters." 6 months later, Naomi stood in front of Victor's board of directors, presenting her team's latest break. Through in quantum encryption, she wore a sharp suit, her natural hair in a beautiful crown of braids. But what made her smile was the picture on her desk in her new office. It showed her standing in the crystal room on her last day as a server. The entire staff had thrown her a party. And Victor Ashford had been there, serving drinks himself, learning names, hearing stories, seeing people, really seeing them. He had changed. Not completely, not overnight, but enough to remember where he came from, enough to treat his employees with respect, enough to fund scholarships for service workers who wanted to return to school. He still had his moments of arrogance. Old habits die hard. But now when Naomi caught him slipping, she would just look at him, and he would remember. Remember the night a waitress had humbled him with a napkin and a pen. Remember that brilliance exists everywhere, often in the places we least expect. Remember that how we treat people says far more about us than our bank accounts or our titles ever could. And that was worth more than any watch or wallet. That was wisdom, the kind money cannot buy. If this story reminded you that everyone we meet has value and potential beyond what we can see, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe.